Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. Welcome to another exciting episode of Frail Conversations. And today, as you've seen from the title, we're going to be talking about trust issues. And I want to talk about trust issues from the perspective of course, both, men and women, as far as the relationships go, like our relationships with men and our relationships with women. Well, let me say relationships with brothers and homies and shit, because you feel me? I know how y'all get sometimes. But I want to talk about those relationships because when we consider trust issues, sometimes I don't think we really understand what the basis of trust issues are. And I might have done an episode on this before, but I don't remember, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. Like, I'm 300 plus episodes in at this point. I feel like I might have mentioned it before, talked about trust issues, but fuck it. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, um, yeah, so when we consider trust issues, right? First, quick backstory how this even came about. Like, I ran into an old homie, and this is a homie who betrayed me. And like betrayal was something I certain shit you just can't recover from. You feel what I'm saying? And as we're talking, it's just like, he's like, yo, what up, bro? How you been? Everything. I said, I don't fuck with you, dog. And it's like I said it from the same energy, same place, same reality it was the moment that he, what I'm saying, fucked me over. You feel me? The moment that the betrayal hit. Like I said it from that place. And I never in nowhere, no time in my life have I ever channeled the energy that well to where it took me back to the moment it happened. You feel what I'm saying? And it was like the whole conversation, like I'm looking at him and it's just like, yo, what up? I'm letting them talk, but it ain't no shit like, you know what I'm saying? I ignored him and shit. I wasn't rude in a way, you know what I'm saying? I was a little cordial, but as it came about, when he was just like, yo, what up, bro? How you been? Everything. Like, that's just how the conversation went. It was like, yo, what up, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute. I just started talking. And I said, I don't fuck with you, nigga. And then I walked off. And then it's like, I had to sit with that. And I'm like, damn. And I started to expand on a lot of that because that circumstance with him, it really fucked with my relationships with my homies, with my brothers and shit. Like, because like who I deem as a brother, like you, I gotta really, really fuck with you heavy in order to call you my brother. I gotta really fuck with you heavy to call you my friend because of him. You feel what I'm saying? Now, mind you, this one was like fucking middle school. We was in middle school at the time, but age ain't got shit to do with experience, bro. And in the situation, it was like from that moment on, I started recount, because I had not really sat with it enough to actually forgive it. You know what I'm saying? And so as I'm going through the process, because I'm mad, like I'm heated walking off and shit. I'm like, don't fuck with you, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything in me was like, yo, I should still fade you. And I felt these feelings like, damn, I shouldn't be feeling like that. I shouldn't be feeling like that. And it's like, as I started to recount it, go back in, because for me, in order for me to find peace, I have to forgive first. I realized I had never forgiven that person. I had suppressed it and buried it because, especially not from the way in which I understand forgiveness now. Mind you, like I said, I was in middle school when a betrayal happened. You feel what I'm saying? And I've told the story of him, in the past, like him being one of the people that jumped my brother back in the day, blah, blah, blah. But to see him and like, nigga, like we had history that stemmed from our beef that can never be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? As I thought, because at first I thought forgiveness when I was younger was reconciliation. But as I'm going through the process of, actually forgiving and understanding why the pain was inflicted by him and shit like that, I started to realize the bigger picture of I had trust issues. You know what I'm saying? I had trust issues when it came to, relationships with men. And, you know what I'm saying? That also stemmed from my father and shit like that. But it got to a point where I was then within the trust issues, I had to understand where what is the real issue with my trust issues. You feel what I'm saying? What is the real issues with my trust issues? And for a lot of us, our issues aren't the actual trust, it's our decision making. And it's hard to get back into that space of trusting again when you haven't made peace with how you make decisions. You feel what I'm saying? And I also tie that to, the relationship that I was involved with, because it was hard to trust women again collectively. In the beginning, when I was younger, it was hard to trust women again. Even though I was rationalizing to myself, every woman ain't the same, every woman ain't the same. It's hard to process that when you don't understand what it is that you're actually having trust issues with. And the trust issues themselves were not from the people, but from me not being able to feel like I can trust my own decisions. You feel what I'm saying? And the trigger in meeting and running into that old homie and shit really opened up a door for me to sit with myself and realize a bigger picture of reality. And then ultimately, as I started the process, motherfucking episode came out. But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_scene_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And you know the vibes. That's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to dive into so frail conversations, trust issues. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. Ow. And without further ado, we're going to dive straight heavy into this motherfucker. So, off rip, let me go ahead and explain and continue on with what I was saying. So, when it comes to trust issues, and we look at it from a bigger perspective, something that I've always learned when I would talk to people, who would say they don't trust this person, or they have trusted with, they had like trust is twofold, because on one hand, we know that trust is our decision. On one hand, the indirect reality is that we don't understand that trust is our decision to open up to a person or to be vulnerable with the person. However, we're going to look at it. We look at it as you betrayed my trust. You feel me? You betrayed my trust. And sometimes it's hard to realize that we get into our ego can get involved, and we can say shit like, it doesn't matter why you betrayed my trust. You feel me? It doesn't matter why you betrayed my trust, because why you betrayed my trust shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You betrayed it. And in the grand scheme of it all, we don't look at the bigger picture. In my opinion, we often don't look at the bigger picture as, okay, how much accountability do I have in this? How much accountability do I have in this? And once we start looking at the accountability and we start looking at the bigger picture, now we got to go back into our decision making. You feel me? Because like we always say, I knew I shouldn't have been fucking with this person. I knew I should have been fucking with that person. How did you know? And if you knew, that means you went against your own intuition, your own decisions, and you chose to make a decision against what you thought. You feel what I'm saying? Mind you, when I take it back to this situation, to my homie, to the old homie and shit, we started off beefing. Like we were never friends. Like our first introduction to each other was against each other. It was in opposition. So it was never a friendship. How we even became best friends, I don't know. It was like Dragon Ball Z reference. It was literally like Goku and Vegeta. We can argue who was who. I don't really give a fuck. We can argue who was who. But it was almost like Goku and Vegeta. We started off beefing. And when I say we started off beefing, it was like, I don't even know what we were beefing for. We was 12. It was like 11 and 12. Well, no, definitely 12 years old, because I remember, yeah, it was 12. Because, or was it 11? Well, yeah, it was between my 6th and 7th grade year and middle school. So, yeah, I was like 11 to 12. Maybe 11, 12. I don't know. Either way, it was fucking beefing at 11 and 12 years old. When I say beefing, like every time, it's almost like we was about to fight every other week. Like every other week we was about to fight. So much so that it was just like me and his older brother were cool. I didn't even know he had a little brother, right? But his older brother went to school with my older brother and my sister. So they was, you know what I'm saying? They used to get on a bus stop together and shit like that. So I knew his older brother. I just didn't know he had a little brother and shit. And so one day, um, I think the first time we were about to scrap, the first time I vividly remember us about to scrap was um what was it? I don't know. We was doing some shit, and I was like, "Yo, let's fight. We 1-on-1." So he went in the house. He grabbed a stick, a metal stick or something. I said, "Oh, this nigga a bitch, yo. He got a stick or some shit." And they was like, and then he said, "Oh, see, he's scared." Blah blah blah. And so he went back in the house. His brother came out. Yo, Ray, why you fucking with my brother? I was like, "Nigga, that's your brother." You feel me? I'm like, I fuck with you, but your brother corny. Like, how the fuck? Like, that's your little brother. Like, how the fuck is he? You feel me? But then his older brother, my brother had beef. My brother beat up his older brother because see this shit runs deep, and I didn't even think too much about this shit. But his older brother beat up my older brother beat up his brother because his brother said he was gonna slap my sister. And so my brother said, my brother said, I'll stand in place for you, slap me. And my brother beat him up. And because of that, I didn't know if that was the rift between us or whatever, but he came back like when we were, in that phase of always beefing and shit, it was like, I don't know what it was about. I really don't. And so he from that moment when I found out that his brother was, who he was, it still didn't change shit. I was like, yo, I'm still gonna fight your brother, like, you feel me? Cause he a bitch. And he keep talking shit. And when I look back over all of these years, I don't even remember what he was actually talking about. I don't know what we had problems over, right? So he hung with one clique, I hung with one clique. And we met up in a space where we almost all clashed together. Mind you, we 11 and 12 years. Me and him are the oldest out of our cliques or whatever the case may be. And so we met up and this was a funny ass fight. I ain't even gonna hold you. So one of the members in his clique fought one of the members in my clique. I ain't even gonna hold you, yo. He beat my man's up and kicked him in the mouth, man. I was like, damn. And I was like, yo, bro, you making us look bad. But you feel me? Kicked him in the mouth and shit. And when he kicked dude in the mouth, I was breaking the fight up. I wasn't gonna jump in, but then dude pushed me from behind and shit. And then like he kind of rushed me, and I was like, "Yo, why you?" I said, "Yo, I'm not even like, why you try to catch me off guard? I'm not even about to jump in." So I was like, "I'm sick of your shit, bro. Like, what you want to do?" But we ain't fight. Somewhere down the line, we squashed the beef, and it had to happen while we was in school because by 7th grade we was motherfucking. And I'm gonna get to the story of trust and shit, but I gotta show you how shit can tie to your decision makers and the trust issues and all that shit. But anyway, so we happened to be in the 7th grade together, same 7th grade class. Like, matter of fact, in the 7th grade, all of our classes were the same. So when somewhere down the line, because I remember in that same school year, we were beefing. And then somehow we became best friends. I don't even know when it shifted. I don't know when it shifted. I don't know why it shifted. But I know that was my homie. That was my brother. That was like one of the first people outside of my family that I ever said, like, outside of my biological brother, said, yo, that's my fucking brother, yo. Like, that's my brother. And I ride for him. I fight for him. You know what I'm saying? He got my back. I got his back. And it was, I remember he fought one of our other homies, which we, they squash beef and shit. We squash beef and shit. But them two niggas was beefing too. But at some point, all of us beefed with each other. It was crazy as hell. But so this is how I know vividly that me and him weren't always friends. Because in like the first semester, he fought my homeboy and shit. First semester, 7th grade, he fought my homeboy. And I went back to school and told one of the mutual friends. And I was being petty. I was being messy. I was like, yo, he fought such and such. He said, yo, who won? I was like, such and such. Knowing damn well it was a tie. Like, it was one hit apiece, and then they started holding each other and shit. But then, you know what I'm saying? So dude was like, yo, you need to shut up. He said, you need to shut up if I beat your ass. I know you won't. You feel me? But I remember that's when we was beefing. So somewhere down that line, maybe it's because we was in class together all the time, or maybe it's because, eventually, like when we got to our third period class and we was actually at lunch together, like we sat together at lunch. So it's somewhere down the line. I don't know how it happened. We just became friends. And it's crazy because we took school for us to become friends. We lived around the corner. But that made sense because when I realized how much influence was with the dynamic of of our fallout, I understood, how in the sanctity of being away from all that bullshit, we was able to be friends. And then we stopped beefing that same. No, we stopped beefing that. We started beefing in the eighth grade. That's when we was beefing. Um, it was a whole different beef. But from there, it's like we friends, we homies. Like I'm at his house, he at my house. His mama got a nickname for me. My mama got a nickname for him. And it's like, even though me and my brother, like we had me and my brother got an age gap, so we never really had a relationship like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like close knit brothers type shit. Like, nigga, I'm little brother and shit. I gotta follow the rules, nigga. I can't do what you do yet. Like, I ain't start doing the shit my brother was doing until I was 22, 23 years old. I ain't start doing it with him. Like nigga, you smoke weed? Yeah, bro. How long you been smoking weed? Since I was like 11, bro. How did I know? You did know, nigga. You just didn't want me to smoke it with you because you thought, you feel me? You feel me? Like, but me and my homie and shit. Like, matter of fact, this was the home. Like, we got high together for the first time. Like that was my nigga, bro. Like the first, no, not he wasn't. No, never mind. But we did get high a lot together and shit. And it was like peas in a pod, me and him. And so we go off to school and shit. We ultimately become best friends and shit. He was the friend that when I stuck off on a dude in class that my teacher set me up with the paper clips with, he motherfucking said, I told you he was gonna stick off on him. He said, I know my man's, bro. He gonna. I say, yo, if you don't intervene or you don't step in, he gonna knock him out, bro. And you keep pushing him. He's telling you to tell dude to leave him alone, but you don't get it. Like, I know him. So he kept walking by the class. I told you. She was hilarious. But this was my homie. This is my motherfucking homie. And so when the shit popped off, fast forward, like this is about my 8th grade year. Matter of fact, it's my 14th birthday. My 14th birthday. Interesting enough, my birthday is about to come up. So it's my 14th birthday. And this shit happened within a span of 15 minutes. However long it takes to take a shower. Span of 15 minutes. I'm out of the shower. Everybody, my family coming over for my birthday and shit. Everybody, my mama cooking the cake and shit. All the shit. Everything is everything. I like, yo, I'm about to go take a shower. As I get in the shower, there's a call, apparently. My brother go around the corner. My brother get jumped. My brother come back around the corner. Everything in chaos. So I'm drying off and shit. Like, I get dressed and shit. Mind you, this is a span of 15, 20 minutes. Span of 15, 20 minutes. I come out, everybody wilding. Now, fuck that, man. Blah, blah, blah. Yo, what happened? It's my birthday. Nah, they didn't tell me, I was like, he did what? And my brother was like, because when they called, he said, my brother, because he was older, he was out running the streets with his thugs and shit. But, you know what I'm saying? He knew something was up the night before. I didn't know. They plotted this. They was like, the target was me. They were supposed to jump me. It was him. It was my homeboy, the other homeboy that we was off and off with, and then some random white dude that we didn't even like. The white dude came into the picture because my homeboy's older brother was dating a white girl at the time. She had a little brother or some shit. No, he was dating a white cougar, and she had a son. That was her son. That wasn't her brother. That was her son. And he was kind of trying to be It's the South, bro. It's the South. We in North Carolina. So the motherfucker, they was supposed to jump me that night. And that's what they was plotting about. They was plotting about. I was like, but yeah, the day before, I'm like, they were just with me though. It was over a video game, allegedly. So my brother was like, he seen it the night before that they were doing some shifty shit. He said something just didn't feel right with them. He was like, they kept asking me, where was you at? And I'm like, what you mean? Like, and he said, and the way in which they was asking where you was at, it didn't feel right. He said, but I was like, nah, he good. He had the house. Y'all know he got it, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, when they called, I was like, yo, tell Ray to come bring a game over. It was like, my brother was like, hold up. Like, y'all could just walk over here and get the game, and it's his birthday. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Like, that's my brother's process. Like, yo, it's my brother's birthday, and you telling him to come around to your crib to bring you a game. Like, it's his birthday, my nigga. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn. So, as my brother's telling me the story and shit of what happened, it gets to a point where I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm like, that didn't happen, bro. Like, I was just in the shower for 15 fucking minutes and shit, and it's my birthday. Like, this nigga, like, he jumped my brother, him and his peoples, So after my brother get jumped, now again, this is all in 20 minutes. I don't even know. Like, my brother get jumped because he go over there by himself. Then he come back to the crib, squat up, because the family's over there. Like, it's my birthday. They go back. You feel me? He get his face back, split a motherfucker face open and shit. And then it's like, they come back, everybody. I'm like, so all of this happened. They was like, yeah, he just scrapped, knocked. Like, the way my brother leaked one of my homies' faces and shit, I was like, and my brother, because he's older, he went back and apologized. Because I'm like, dude, I was just turning 14, so dude was 13. He went back to him. He said, yo, I apologize for hitting you that hard. Like, like, when I say he leaned my nigga, he split his whole mouth open. Like, you don't hit, like, me and my brother 7 years apart, so he's 21. And he the 13-year-old like that. And he went back and apologized. He was like, now, mind you, he didn't just fight a 13-year-old. He was fighting another 21-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, and another 14-year-old. Like, he got jumped. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So when he got jumped the first time, he just came around. It just so happened that was the first person he seen. He said, now who jumped me? Bing, and split his shit. And then he started beating up the older brother. Then he started then my sister was out there fighting. It was a fiasco. And it's my 14th birthday. A birthday I'll never forget. It's crazy because it's a paradox, because I never forget that birthday, but I can't remember it. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember the celebration of my birthday in any way, shape, or form. But I can't forget the betrayal that happened on my birthday. You feel what I'm saying? And in that betrayal, it's like, when I say we was beefing, we was beefing. We was beefing hard. It was on sight. It was on sight. Like, it was bad. It was bad. I'm glad we was young and we didn't have guns. One of us would have killed each other. One of us would have killed the other. And I know it for a fact that one of us would have killed each other. And chances are it would have been me that would have killed him. Because in the time when me and him started beefing, one of niggas had to pick sides. Everybody picked the side against me. You feel me? Everybody in the clique, they switched up on me. They picked the side against me. So I felt I was walking around with knives at the time. And if I would have had a gun, I would have killed somebody. I would have killed one of them. No ifs, ands, or maybes about it. And I know that. That's how bad it was. You feel what I'm saying? I remember one time I'm chilling and shit. Like, my mom, she made me feel like a bitch. But I get what she was doing, because she was like, I don't want you going outside. I don't want you walking by yourself. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, I had to stay in the house for, like, after the moment happened, I had to stay in the house for a good 3 weeks. Like, I had to stay in the house, because she said she had a dream, and in a dream they jumped me, and it was like, she said I had a dream of like 30 people jumped you, and I was like, oh shit, I'm never going outside. You feel me? But she was like, in the dream, she was like, you was fighting them off, and they couldn't stop you. And she said you managed to get on top of the car, and you knocked one of them out. And then when you knocked him out, I ran up to him and I was like, are you okay? I said, Mom, so you mean to tell me you having a dream about 30 niggas jumping me and you were worried about the nigga I knocked out? Not your son? She said, I didn't worry about you because you won. But she said, what you did to the other person in the dream was what the problem was. At the time, because I'm younger, I'm not anticipating the dynamics of a dream. You know what I'm saying? I'm not anticipating that. She was like, when you hit him, you knocked him out cold and he didn't move in a dream. But I said, we was just fighting, right? She said, that's what I don't know. In the dream, y'all was just fighting, but who knows how that's going to play out in the real world. I didn't know that that's what she was trying to protect me from. Now I know in hindsight, because I would have killed him. There was no ifs, ands, or maybes about it. The hatred that I had for this man at that age, I would have killed him. I was like I said, I was walking around with 2 knives on me. Like, on me, the blickies. You feel me? And I didn't care. And I had got so proficient with the motherfuckers, I could flip them out with, like, I could put the blade between my like, you know how you snap? Like, I'm snapping now. I could put the blade between those 2 fingers and flip it open like a snap. And that's all you hear. You don't hear the blade go open. You just hear the snap. Like, that's how raw it was. And I was like, because I was like, if they run up on me, I'm killing them. I'm slicing them. Like, I'm bing, bing, bing. I'm gonna hit you like 4 or 5 times. I had already, in my mind, I had already practiced the scenario several times over. It wasn't a matter of if, it was when. And I was always ready for it. And so as time progressed, I realized that this is a problem. I ain't never felt like this before. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never felt like this before. And it fucked up and it traumatized me as far as relationships go with men. You know what I'm saying? Because the timeline, because the way in which from my father to, you know, my older brother and now to him. Like, sometimes as men, we don't address the breakups or the heartbreaks that we suffer from men. Because, oh, that's gay. I shouldn't have done that. No. There's heterosexual shit that is involved with your emotional attachment to your homies. Like, y'all, that's a bond, homie. Like, that's a literal bond to your father, to your brother, and all that shit. Like, for my father, it was him, yo, I'm never coming back. Or he ain't say I'm never coming back. But when he came back, he didn't come back and shit. And I met him for the first, like, that was a whole fiasco. You feel what I'm saying? Now I can't trust men. Like, I can't trust men. You know what I'm saying? My brother, I'm going to teach you how to play basketball because my brother's a star athlete. Like, he just had it. I'm like, yo, just teach me how to ball, bro. I want to know the fundamentals so I can make the team the next year. You feel me? He came back, told me some very powerful words that shaped me to this day. He said, you know who got me good? Myself. Every day I practice. I did it myself. Okay. Nobody's going to help me. All right, cool. I figured it out on my own. Now, fast forward to my life now. I don't ask nobody for help, but I do everything myself. Now everybody's like, well, you know, because I got to do it myself. Because when I asked everybody for help, when I asked people for help, when I was young, nobody wanted to give me the guidance. So now the roles are switched. People are like, yo, you got to show me how to do it. You know who got me good at this? Myself. I never forget it. I think it was like a Christmas or some shit. He was like, yo, you got to show me how to get these markets right. I said, you know who got me good at the markets? Myself. And I looked him dead in the soul and didn't blink, didn't flinch. And everybody was looking like, what y'all? He know what I'm talking about. He know exactly what I'm talking about. I left it at that. But again, my brother, my pops, my brother, but this one was different because those were like assumed defaulted loves. That's unconditional shit I can't get rid of. And those really weren't technically that bad. I didn't really know my dad. You feel what I'm saying? And my brother, it's like, nigga, he just being a brother. Like, the fuck? Like, nigga, you got it. Life is not about what people gonna do for you. It's not about your handouts. It's about what you got to go and do for yourself. But this one was different. Like, you was a friend. Like, we went through some shit. Like, we was beefing and we became friends and shit, but then you did some sinister shit. That's unforgivable. And when I thought about unforgivable, I was like, it's something you can't let go of. You feel me? But I was more so, that's something I can't reconcile with. So much so that after we was beefing up until high school. So it goes from into my 7th grade year. No, into my 8th grade year. Because that's when it happened. Until probably like maybe sophomore year. Sophomore year, we squashed beef. And we squashed beef over something simple. This is how I knew, like, it was like, yeah, we was fucking friends for real. Like, we was fucking homeboys for real on some real shit. Like, you was my homie, bro. So much so that it was the respect that was there when, I had an East Bay magazine that I was looking at, because y'all know East Bays. I had just checked the mail that morning because I forgot to check it at night. And the only thing in there this particular time was an East Bay magazine. So I grabbed the East Bay magazine, I take it out, and I go to I get on a bus. So I'm looking at my East Bay magazine. It was like, yo, that's the new East Bay. I was like, yeah. So I'm passing it around and shit. And then I get like, I was in the back seat, the very back seat of the bus. He was like 2 or 3 seats ahead of mine. And it was, I guess his cousin or something to the right. So I'm passing it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want to see it. So I passed it to the person that's a mutual friend. I didn't know if they were cousins or real for real. I don't know. Shit's crazy. But ultimately, it got to him. And he looked on the back and see my name. He was like, hey, yo, you mind if I see this? And I was like, yeah, you good. And in that moment, it was like the respect was still there in a way, but it's like, I don't fuck with you, bro. And it was I'm gonna ask you about this magazine because I know we don't fuck with each other for real. But it was like, damn, we was cool at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you got the magazine, blah, blah, blah. So like I said, up until like 10th grade in high school, that's when we was like, that's when the beef was done. And the beef was ended on my end. You feel what I'm saying? Because I remember we was sitting outside on the block one day, and we had a mutual friend who was down there chilling with him and shit. And he asked me, he said, hey, yo, bro, I want to know if y'all still beefing. And everybody looked at me. That's when I knew, one, of my power and shit, but then two, how deep this shit really was. Because everybody else is like, yo, if you still beefing, we still beefing. If you not beefing, we good, because it ain't really, the problem ain't with us. The problem is between y'all two motherfuckers. Like, y'all hate each other. And it was after I was like, Nah, bro, it ain't no beef, man. I was like, we ain't got. I said, look, we don't fuck with them. They don't fuck with us. Not in the fucked up way. It's just like we stay away from each other, bro. Ain't no beef. I ain't got no animosity or no shit like that. It's done with me. And then my homies follow suit. They was like, yeah, man, ain't no beef, man. Fuck it. You feel me? Tell them it ain't no beef. It ain't no problem. We you know what I'm saying? We out here doing our own thing and shit. And from there, that's when it stopped. But fast forward. Now, mind you, at that time, it had to be like 15. I was like 15 years old, maybe 15, 16. Because when did we fight? Did we fight before or after he asked if there was beef? I want to say before. Nah, it was definitely before. It was definitely before because uh, this had to be my ninth grade. We fought my ninth grade year. Yeah, so by my 10th grade year, it was dead and done. So my ninth grade year and shit, when we actually do fight, it's because, yep, it definitely was my ninth grade year. Because when they ran up on me and shit, it was me, my little homie, and then it was a pregnant girl and another girl. And I'm saying girls because we was kids. You feel me? And so it's him, his cousin, another dude, and his little sister. And I'm like, huh. So ego, it's a motherfucker. This is how I know. If I would have had a gun, I would have killed this nigga, bro. So I'm smoking a cigarette, and him and his cousin walked past me, and he was like, he said, what did he say? He said, see, nothing said or some shit like that. He said, he said, I was like, what? He said, every time I walk by y'all start talking shit, call me pussy and this, that, and the third. But now that I'm with somebody, you ain't gonna say. I said, first off, that don't be me that be talking shit to you. You feel me? Because I let the shit go. I said, that don't be me. That be bruh who say, you feel me? You a pussy start talking shit. I said, if I wanted to say something to you, I'm gonna say it without the permission of whoever the fuck is around me. You feel me? I don't give a fuck who you walking with. I don't give a fuck if your cousin here. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all niggas. And I feel the energy riding up. So he's like, yeah, y'all always call me a pussy when I'm by myself, but now with my family, nigga, now I'm what? Call me pussy now. You a pussy, nigga, now what? I know I said that shit hard, but that's how hard I said it at the time. I said, you a pussy, bitch, boy, now what? And I flicked my cigarette. I said, what you trying to do? And he said, what'd he say? He said, that's all I need to know. So I was like, me too, nigga. So that's when we squared up and shit. So we squared up. I'm whooping this nigga ass, bro. And again, this is how I know I wanted to hurt this man. I felt none of the punches. None of the punches I was connecting to him, and none of the punches that landed on me. I'm like, when I say I'm knocking his head back, I'm knocking his fucking head back. I wanted to kill him. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like I'm hitting him so fast and I'm hitting him so hard and moving so fast that he only landed one hit. When he got his hit, he stopped fighting. Because I'm an integral fighter, I'm not going to, keep the fight going beyond its means. So when he hit me, he was like, yo, I got my rock off. And I'm stuck because I'm like, nigga, you got one hit. You feel me? So I'm thinking I lost again because once he got the hit and I started coming back, that's when I felt it. I was like, oh shit. So I'm like, damn, I ain't never hit this nigga, bro. I'm thinking he was dancing on me and shit. No. When my homeboy told the fight, he was like, yo, you was knocking his fucking head back, bro. That's all he can do was get that one hit. And once he got it, that's why he said, yo, I got my one hit off. I'm good. He said, I got my hit off. I'm good. I was like, oh, okay. So again, I think the fight really helped squash the beef a little bit because he realized he couldn't fuck with me. He already knew he couldn't fuck with me, but then he realized he couldn't fuck with me. So I know I'm gonna get to the story, y'all. This story is intertwined and it's very deep because it all ties into trust issues and shit. Just stick with me. I'm getting there. We making progress. All right. So fast forward, we end up squashing beef. That's why I'm like, so to run into him after all those years. And still, even after we fought, even after I told when we was young and shit, like, yo, squash the beef, somehow I forgot all of that shit and just like, I don't fuck with you, nigga. When I ran into him in person, it's like, I don't fuck with you, nigga. Like, where did it go? Where did it go? And that's when I started to understanding like trust issues have to come. Your trust issues have to come from either your forgiveness or your lack of it. You feel me? But you have to understand what forgiveness is. In my later ages in life, I'm like, forgiveness is not reconciliation. Now, when I said we squashed the beef, it was like, yo, there's the potential for reconciliation in that. But now I understand, because I now understand that it's not about reconciliation, it's about understanding why pain was inflicted. I understand why he did what he did. I get it. It's like, oh, but he jumped your brother. There's no reason why he jumped your brother. He has allegiance to his brother. Him and my brother were beefing. I didn't know they were beefing. I didn't know they had problems. But the only, like, you feel what I'm saying? Because in the hood, shit is off and on. Like, real, when I say real shit, like in the hood, shit is off and on. It's like you could be beefing with a nigga one summer. You could be his rival one summer, be his ally the next. You see what I'm saying? You could be playing with him 1 month, playing basketball with him on the same team 1 month, and then the next y'all can't stand each other. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say shit got so out of hand to where families started beefing. That's when I knew this is a problem. Because there was a like it had extended so long to where it's crazy. I ended up fucking one of his cousins and shit. And then it was a rival beef, bro. I was fucking one of his cousins, and I was also fucking the. I don't even think that story should. I gotta tell it now because I already introduced the shit. So I was fucking his little cousin and shit. Now, when I say little, let me rephrase that. She had to be like 2 years. She was 2 years younger than me. So when I say and me and him, he was a year older than me. So that's his little cousin. But I was fucking her. But then I was also fucking another girl, right? Lived around the corner from each other. And the two girls hated each other. I didn't know why. At the time, I didn't know why. I was just like, yo, they just don't like each other. You feel me? They fought, and the shit came out. They was fighting over me. I said, oh, shit, nigga. Like, nigga, you out here slinging dick like that? Nigga, no. Yeah, but no. So I was fucking both of them. Didn't give a fuck. You feel me? I'm a kid. Sue me. I'm 15, 16 years old. So mind you, it got to a point where when they fought, it was bad. Because even the homeboy that I was beefing with and his little sister, she fought the girl, the other woman, the other girl that I had fucked, and it was a fiasco. So it was a lot of webs, and I was in the middle of a lot of it. Maybe that's why me and him was beefing, because I didn't know. I never fucked his sister. Now I didn't fuck his cousin till me and him was beefing. Whatever. So so the shit got out of hand because a phone call got made that I had got jumped. And because the homeboy that fought, it was, we called each other brothers and shit. When the word got back to my family, it was, your brother got jumped. No, your brother was fighting a grown man or some shit. So mind you, we're 15 and 16 years old. Dude's in his 20s. You feel me? And he ran up on my mans and shit. My mans faded him. You know what I'm saying? He stuck him with some brass knuckles and shit, split his shit. But my man stopped fighting. And he was like, yo, Ray, I lost. I'm tired, bro. I fucking lost. I was like, you ain't lose, bro. You just got tired and stopped fighting. Whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. Word got back to my peoples that I got jumped. And I'm like, when I say when the cars pulled up, they just pulled up, hopped out, and started walking. I'm like, where y'all going? Ain't nobody about to jump my brother. Hey, hold up. I'm good. Ain't shit pop off. What happened? Because somebody made a call back and said that we was all fighting, and we wasn't. It was a one-on-one fight. Everybody was just out there. You feel me? It was a one-on-one fight for real. But now when they run around the corner and shit, it got a little bit deeper because niggas was like, yo, nigga, don't make me pull the thing out. And I ain't gonna say the name because you feel me, there's limitations on that. Somebody in the clique was like, bitch, I already got mine out and flagged in the shit. And it was like, yo, there's kids out here, there's babies out here. And I was like, this shit is crazy, y'all. We gotta do better, bro. This shit hell. We were living in a war zone, my nigga. Nobody got shot, nobody died or nothing like that. But the fact that the guns was already ready, like y'all came out here to kill somebody. And it was a misunderstanding because it wasn't your brother that got jumped. It wasn't your cousin that got jumped. It was an affiliate of your brother and your cousin. And the story got back to y'all because they know that y'all handle shit. It wasn't me. But then I'm like, yo, my beef with this nigga is taking its toll on my family, on our families. Now, this beef was me and him. Then it expanded to my brother, his brother, and his cliques and my cliques. Then it expanded to his cousins and my cousins. This shit was getting out of hand, y'all. Like, this shit was crazy. And I'm like, fuck. All of that shit came back when I ran into this nigga. Like, nigga, I don't fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? That level of betrayal led to all of that crazy bullshit. Now, mind you, I didn't have to fuck his little cousin. But you feel me? When you move out, when the shorties move out to the new neighborhood and shit, you gotta, you feel me? They gon' fuck. When you that nigga, they gon' fuck you, bro. Like, I done ran through so many, it's not even funny. But at that point, it was like it added fuel to the beef. It added fuel to the beef in a way because it just added fuel to the beef. But like I said, by my 10th grade year in high school, we was done. We was like really done with the shit. And we were just like, all right, it is what it is. We ain't gonna speak to each other. We just not going. And that's it. It's dead and done. It's dead and done. And so to see him again and to say that and shit, it brought back other shit. Now, the shit that it brought back, like I said, now I can get into the actual meat and potatoes of the episode. The shit that it brought back was I did not understand what forgiveness was at the time when I thought I forgave him. So I had repressed that shit. I didn't understand why the pain was inflicted. The pain was inflicted because that's who he was as a person. You feel what I'm saying? That's kind of who he was as a person. And it fucks with me because I'm like, it fucks with my ability to make friends as far as like men go, because it's like I still held on to that in the sense of my decision making. I didn't know that. I'm thinking it's like, yo, these niggas is foul, bro. Niggas will try to fuck your girl. Niggas will try to do this, that, and third to you. It's like, nah, these are the decisions. These are the friends that you choose. When you grow up, you hear choose your friends wisely, and you don't really know. I ain't gonna say you don't really know. When I was growing up hearing choose your friends, well, I didn't know what it meant to choose. I'm like, yo, we all live in the hood, bro. At some point, we just got to fuck with each other. It is what it is. But it was the decisions. You have decisions to fuck with somebody and not fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, we live in the same neighborhood and shit. It's wild. Like, but I realized over time that he was a person who I he had betrayal tendencies. Like he flip flopped back and forth between different sets and different cliques and shit like that. I remember this is one of the people that I was saying, like I remember when we was Crip affiliated. I remember when we was on some, yo, when we actually do gang bang and we get put down, we gonna be cripping. And for him to become a blood, it was different. It was like, okay, you have this tendency. But then it's like now when I look at it from a bigger perspective as a person, as him, who he is you're gonna do whatever you need to do to survive for yourself. And you're going to align with what you need to align with. You feel what I'm saying? I always seen that in him. So when it came from the shit like him, like the choice was either me or him versus why his brother even had an issue with me in the first place is crazy. But I get it. It turned into a different territorial beef between him and my brother. So it was like, yo, we gonna jump him to send a message. Trying to be on some paid in full type shit. Like, nigga, y'all ain't even on that level, bro. Y'all are selling weed and nickels and dimes, bro. Y'all are not on that level. But he was trying to send a message to my brother. Because my brother was in that space. You feel what I'm saying? He was in that space at that time to move that way. And so, like I said, because I had a situation where my brother actually, like I was playing basketball, so my brother said, yo, you can't play basketball down there. I'm beefing with them niggas. Like, you need to come home. He said, you can go play basketball somewhere else, but don't play down there. I was like, well, he said, bro, please don't do it. Just don't do it. And I didn't get, because at the time he was he was in that space where niggas was kidnapping people. He didn't kidnap nobody. He wasn't in no space like that, but he was in that space. Made me think about Paid in Full when not Mitch. Was it Mitch? Yeah. When Mitch little brother got kidnapped. Like, that's like, and I think that's what was going through his mind. So at the time of me getting jumped, it was, yo, we're gonna send a message. Like, I didn't get jumped, but that's what it was supposed to be. We're gonna send a message to him. And he got caught in it. For me, it didn't matter why you got caught in it at the time, but I understand. I can forgive it. I can't reconcile it, but I was able to forgive it and say, yo, like, you did what any brother would do. If my older brother is beefing, you know what I'm saying, with a nigga, and he like, yo, you got to knock this nigga out, or you got to handle, like, I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same shit. Had the roles been in reverse, I can't say I wouldn't have done the same shit. But I say I wouldn't have done the same shit because my brother wouldn't put me in no position like that. You feel what I'm saying? My brother would not put me in a position like that. So as I'm looking at that, I'm now saying, okay, there's trust issues in the fact that I'm thinking it's more so people did like he betrayed me. But at the same time, it's like, yo, you made a decision to befriend somebody who was disloyal. You chose to befriend somebody. You decided to befriend somebody who you started off beefing with. Like, what did you expect? Like, you knew his tendencies. You knew how he flip-flopped between people. You knew how he got down. Like, why would you expect anything else? You see what I'm saying? Why would you expect anything else? And he was a master manipulator at recruiting niggas he was masterful at recruiting niggas to fight his battles. He wasn't a good fighter at all. Like, he couldn't fight. But he was real good at recruiting people to fight for him. I didn't see that that's what he was doing. I happen to be one of the people that's like, so when shit popped off, it's like, yo, I got your back, nigga, this, that, and the third. Half of the time when I got into fights with him and shit like that, I was sticking off on a nigga first. I didn't realize that that's what it was, but because it was when we was fighting, it was more than one nigga and shit. I remember one time, this was before we went to the skating ring and shit. So his sister was going with this dude or whatever the case may be, and dude was talking shit on the phone. And so I'm like, nigga, I'm like, don't be letting that nigga talk shit to you on the phone and shit. So I grabbed the phone and said, nigga, hey, we'll see y'all motherfuckers at the skating ring then, bitch. You feel me? Talking shit. Mind you, I'm like 12, 13 years old. So we get to the skating. These niggas big as fuck, bro. We all in middle school still, but these niggas big as fuck. These are big middle schoolers. Like, we were just regular middle schoolers. But I didn't give a fuck. Ray didn't give a fuck. So when we get there and shit, I'm the only one talking shit. Like, we had a skating ring. I said, yo, so what's all that shit y'all was talking about on the phone, nigga? I said, yo, it's whatever y'all want to do. You feel me? I'm the only one talking shit. And they was like, nah, bro, it ain't no problem. It is that and the third. I was like, nah, fuck that, nigga. What y'all trying to do? And I was like, ah, shit. I'm the only one doing this. It didn't register because that's your homie. That's your homie. So when the shit switched off, it plays off and makes it easy for him to do that. But then now it also affects certain relationships because now from that individual betrayal, it took me to undergrad to even decide that I could be friends with a man. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I remember the first person that I was that actually made my fucking friend in undergrad. Like, that was my nigga, bro. And it was like, he saw me through some worse times. He saw me through some, like, he was one of the people that almost cried in front of during my heartbreak because it was like, he asked me about my girl at the time we had break. He's talking about she moved on. I was crying. I said, nigga, don't say no shit like that. But he was a friend. He was a friend. But it was hard for me to actually open up and become his friend at first because of the betrayal that I had. I said, I don't know what you're here for, bro. I don't know what you're here for. But it came into my trust issues because I had trust issues based off my decisions. This person had never done anything wrong to me. This person he never did anything foul. I can't go into this position assuming, nigga, you gonna do this shit to me. You're gonna do this to me. You feel what I'm saying? And developing that was really start to open me up to say, you know what? People are people. And when you learn to stop generalizing everybody off of the trust issues that you have and start looking at your decision making, you can now start to individualize people a little bit better. You feel what I'm saying? And it was developing that relationship with my homeboy and shit. It was like in undergrad, developing that relationship with him was like, yo, you a friend. You're the type of friend that I am. But I didn't see it at first because I was in as a kid, choose your friends wisely, go make friends. You think, okay, I gotta make friends. When you hear make friends, you gotta make people like you. No. When to truly accept, you have to make when it comes to being friends with people, you have to decide to add them into your life. That's really what it is. You don't make people like you, and like you decide to add them in your life. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when you are in a space where you're making friends and you're deciding to add people in your life, now you fuck with your decision making skills and you project it off as if I don't trust this person, I don't trust people. Nah, the truth of the matter is you don't trust or you're not confident enough in your decision making skills, respectfully, to do this again. You feel me? I hear it all the time, especially when it comes to women and talking about their relationships and shit. It's like, I can't love again or this, that, and the third. No, no, no. You don't have the capacity to make the same decision and have a bad outcome. Because it is insanity at that point. You feel what I'm saying? I joke around when I say it because I post for, dramatic effects on content and shit. But when I say shit like I only got one relationship in me left, like I be bullshitting. Like I don't have one relationship in me. I have one relationship left in me according to the decisions of the relationships that don't work. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, when I go back to the heartbreak that I had, I made a decision to fuck with that woman. Like I can look and get mad at the trust issues and say, oh, I don't trust these bitches because these bitches ain't shit. Social media got y'all fucked up. It got y'all fucked up because y'all are thinking you can't trust women as opposed to accepting that you're not deciding on women that you can trust. Like you feel like you see what I'm saying? They got this whole gender war shit. Like it's like we against no. The whole battle is between motherfuckers that are all untrustworthy for one, and it's people that can't really make a decision for real. They decide on dealing with people who they can't trust. You know how like that's a different level of danger for yourself. Cause that's self-sabotage if I've ever seen it. Deciding to fuck with something that you can't trust. Everybody has the same outcome when the situation's over that they knew they shouldn't have been fuck with somebody, but they gave them a chance anyway. Why did you decide to go against why did you decide to align yourself with something that was against you? That you are knowingly admitting that wasn't for you. So now when we see, I had just seen this post about this dude, dude made a post or whatever. And I had to clarify, I had to put a caption on the shit because in the post, he captioned, it was from Twitter. So he commented on somebody saying, it was a woman asking, I don't know if it was a woman, but it was a post that asked hoes, when did you know you was a hoe? And the hoes came out and said when they did their hoe shit. So the dude responds to it and says, if this doesn't make you fear women, you are dangerous or some shit like that. I said, nah, it shouldn't make you fear women because the question, this is where definition and context are very paramount because how you perceive women is indicative of how you responded to this, right? The question asked, when did hoes know that they were hoes? And the hoes came out and said that this is when I knew I was a hoe. So to interject women into that position shows that you view all women as hoes. And by proxy, you're going to view all hoes as women. So you get your lines blurred because you don't know how to make a solid decision enough to distinguish between a hoe and a woman and a woman and a hoe. So in a paradoxical world, and it's not so paradoxical, we want women to do hoe shit, but we want hoes to be women. What? And then we get mad and we can't trust these hoes or never. Duh. Like that's not an epiphany. That's not you can't trust hoes. Like the fuck? You're not supposed to. You feel me? But yet we constantly try to make a decision to do that very thing. And so that backfires on us because now we approach the world as I don't trust none of these hoes. I don't trust none of these hoes. When I had a homie ask me one time, he was like, yo, how you still like, I don't fuck with hoes, nigga. Like, I don't get it. Like, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. I said, I don't make the conscious decision to go fuck with hoes. That's why. The motherfuckers that I be talking to and talking about, they not hoes. I don't view them as hoes. They don't carry themselves as hoes. They don't do hoe behavior. They not trying to hit licks. They ain't putting pills in a nigga drink. They not popping pills on a regular basis. They not initiating the conversation with do you do drugs? No, they not on that type time. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't fuck with hoes. But the fact that a lot of people want bad bitches most times are hoes. You feel me? The real ones, the fake ones that are trying to put on the image and shit, they don't really be hoes. They don't really trying to be into this shit. That's why they get fucked up in the long run. Cause this ain't their life. Cause they go get with the motherfucker who's built for bad bitches, but they not bad bitches for real. Now they got to become a bad bitch because of the shit that happened to them. But the fact of the matter extends into the decision making. We get tied up in these situations of I don't trust this person, I don't trust this, and it's very difficult to look and acknowledge that it's my decision making that I don't trust. Hey, bro, for real though, at some point we gotta stop talking to women about masculinity and start talking to each other about it. And I mean really talk to each other. Not as enablers and co-signers, but as men trying to reach the pinnacle of our essence. And that's what the So Frail series does. So Frail 1 is the definition. So Frail 2 is the acknowledgement. And So Frail 3 is the resolution. If you rock with the So Frail conversations, I can guarantee you will rock with the So Frail series of books. So visit IamJustSaying.com right now so you can add the series to your library. I promise you will never look at masculinity the same again, and you're going to stop wasting your time arguing with women about it. This is a conversation that men need to have between men, and it's time we start having this conversation now. You feel what I'm saying? After like one of the quintessential pieces that really had me sit and reflect and look back on this was when I actually started trading. Like when I first started trading and shit, it was all based on my decision making skills. So I was like, damn, I can't look at this as a scam. I can't look at this as this, that, and the third, because if I didn't make the decision to know how to do this for real, I can't complain. So then when I started looking back at the relationships that I was in, when I look back over the betrayals and shit, I was like, I made a decision to befriend these people. I made a decision to be involved with these people. And that's what I have to live with. You see what I'm saying? That's not like the fact that they wronged us, the fact that the shit happened to us, that's not what haunts us. That's not what gives us the trust issues. It's, will I make another decision that leads me into that? You feel what I'm saying? And now you have to ask yourself, because and this is where, of course, the meat and potatoes of the episode is, but this is where you have to sit and ask yourself, it's like, if I am possible, if it is possible that I'm gonna make that decision again, one of two things that happen. Am I continually fucking with people like this? Or am I doing this to myself? Logically, because of the ego and shit like that, nobody's like, I fuck with these type of people. I'm not doing this to myself. It's not self-sabotage, but is it? Self-sabotage is never intentional, my nigga. You don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm gonna self-sabotage myself. No, instead you do decisions that go against you. Because sometimes self-sabotage has a level of control in it that you can say, hey, I'm in power here. Even if the power that I'm in is detrimental to me, I'm in power here. You feel what I'm saying? Case in point, after the heartbreak that I went through, when I had the quote unquote trust issues, I met a beautiful woman. Amazing fucking woman. Amazing fucking woman. But I didn't trust my decision making skills. But I didn't know that it was my decision making skills that I didn't trust. You feel what I'm saying? So we went on dates. Like, mind you, she was older too. She was older. She was like 29 at the time. I think I was 23. Yeah, so she was older, man. She was cool. I showed her a picture. Like, one of my homegirls, she met her shit because I was telling her about, she was like, she ain't cute enough for you. Homegirl wanted to give me some ass, but it was what it is. But she was like, she ain't cute enough for you. I don't think you should fuck with her, blah, blah, blah. And I cut this woman off just because of whatever the case may be. But I trusted somebody else's decision before I trusted my own. Like, this person made me feel good. When I was selling cars, she would when I was selling cars and shit, I think she was getting a oil change or some shit. She's chilling and shit. And I'm like, yo, I ain't get a chance to go eat, yo, and I'm hungry. Mind you, we ain't even going together yet. Well, we ain't even go together. We didn't even go together. Like, this is sad, bro. Shit fucked me up. But this is self-sabotage. So she's like, all right, what you want? So I was like, here, I gave her some money. I was like, I want some Burger King and blah, blah, blah. So she went, got me some food, brought it back. Everybody like, yo, you got her like that? I said, nah, bro, it ain't like that, bro. She's a good person. Good people do good shit. It ain't got shit to do with dick. It ain't got shit to do with none of that. Like, I hadn't even hit. Like, she was a good person. And the self-sabotage in me made me not want to go forward and fuck with her, because it was like, it was a decision I didn't want to make. You see what I'm saying? Because the trust issues were there. Because I'm like, it's too good. You make me feel too good, but it's like, my decision, I know that my decision-making skills are bad. So I'm going to say you love bombing me. I'm going to say it's moving too fast. I'm going to say it's a whole bunch of shit. Sometimes we look at situations wrong. Sometimes, now granted, love bombing and shit is real, my niggas. Like, sometimes don't get caught up in it. I was fucking with a woman one time, and she was transferring love from a previous relationship. I fuck with like a couple women like that. Transferring love from previous relationships, and I'm thinking, oh, you just fuck with me because I had been single for so long, right? Mind you, One of them was like literally married, my nigga. Like she was like she was trying to she was in the process of getting the marriage annulled. Like I'm like, wait, so y'all just got married? Like, wait a minute. And you didn't even tell me. You just act like you single coming into this picture. Rebound type shit. You was transferring all the love that you felt for this man because what happened was she was like, I read your book to him and he just didn't get it. This was So Frail 1. She was like, I read So Frail 1 to him and it's just like, first off, I said, baby girl, this is about to be crazy. You're reading, you're trying to go from a man you have to read books to a man who writes them. This is about to be different. But I was with it because I'm like, oh, she really fucked me. I didn't know she had a man. You feel me? The reading the So Frail shit came out hindsight. Like that, as she's telling me, yeah, she's, I remember one time she was telling me like, she said, yeah, I thought you found out that I was married. And then, when one of our conversations, I said, so you was never gonna tell me. She's like, nah, because we're in the process of getting in the node and shit like that. And it just, so wow, you was never really gonna tell me that shit because you was transferring the love from that person. So that shit is real. That shit is real. It happened multiple times to me. Like one woman, she was in a relationship for 3 years, been out 2 months, and then meet me and talking about, yeah, it's just, I'm so done. No, you're not. You're just trying to transfer the love. So that love bombing shit is real. But sometimes it's not. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes it is what it is. Like y'all, because sometimes if we always view the relationship through the hurt lens, sometimes shit will not make sense. Like shit be going at a nice pace. The pace is supposed to go. The pace it would go if you two motherfuckers were healed and in the right space. Like it don't be rushing. It don't be moving too fast. But you'll start talking to people that are not in that space that'll convince you that it is. Self-sabotage kicks in. You see what I'm saying? Self-sabotage start kicking in because it's like, you're right. It might be moving too fast. It might be doing this and the third. No, it's moving according to the pace in which you two are aligned. Have you ever thought about that? But because our decision-making skills are fucked up, sometimes we don't even look at that shit and we don't trust our own decision-making skills. We have to go trust the decisions of other people. You feel what I'm saying? How many relationships have you fucked up? Or like when you think about the person who's the quote unquote one that got away, how fluid was it? It seemed fast. And a lot of times we be thinking shit is moving fast when it's moving fluid. We get so used to stagnant fucking energy and complacency that when something is moving fluidly, we think it's moving too fast. Where does that come from? Well, I got trust issues, so I don't think that you are who you are. This, that, no. You have problems with your decision making skills. How can you not trust this motherfucker and you never met this? This is your first experience with him, and you already don't trust them. That's not them you don't trust. It's yourself. It's yourself. You feel me? Because you're not aware or privy to the fact that you have to pay attention to these signs. You have to do this. And then if all you see is the red flags and shit, there's levels to this shit. But how many times have a relationship been so fluid? And we be thinking it's fast because it's fluid. It's right. It's fluid. And we be thinking, oh, nah, you need more time. I need more time with this. I need more time with that. According to whose standard? Like, what is time? Like sometimes we got to look at time when we try to act, we place time in the same realm as tenure, and it's not the same. Time is the quality of an experience. You feel what I'm saying? Time is the quality of experience. When you spending time with a motherfucker and y'all are able to talk 4 or 5 hours at a time. And it's like, yo, this is moving. It's not moving too fast. It's moving according to the time. And then y'all are able to go down. And now the experience is there too, because y'all are able to go depths and peel back layers and shit. Like, it's different. But now when you don't have the ability to trust your decision-making skills, you start thinking it's moving too fast. You start thinking it's moving too fast. Now, this is not to say in the process, okay, yeah, start fucking. No, that's red flag shit. Like, nah, that's red flag shit. That's something else that I had to learn over decision-making skills and shit. Like learning that women who want to give it up quick, I realized that it's not about them being a hoe. And I've learned these things, and it's like I will always say, nah, let's wait a little bit because I'm not there yet. You haven't gotten me there yet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I have gotten you there, but it's like when I'm at a space where I can, like, I start to observe something, You're trying to make a decision that, and because it's something that's like when she's not really into the motherfucker, she can wait. But when the motherfucker has tapped into something that makes her feel like she's supposed to feel, she's willing to give it up because that's what she's programmed to do. That's what she's conditioned to do and doesn't know that that's why she's doing it. You feel what I'm saying? And so over time, I've learned to observe that. And I've learned that some women will use that to get you in before they can walk away, before you have a chance to see all of the other shit on the backside. You see what I'm saying? There's almost been a one-to-one situation, and this is something I had to learn with my decision-making skills because I wasn't paying attention. There's a one-to-one connection with all of the women who I fucked quick and found out that they had boyfriends afterwards, or they were just coming out of relationships or some shit, or I was a rebound. Because it was like, oh, you were trying to give me the pussy before I found out who you really were. Because now I'm here. Now I'm stuck. How did I know this? Because I could have the trust issue and say, these bitches all the same. These bitches all the same. No, my decisions making was the same with these type of women. When I encountered these type of women that I'm attracted to, my decision was the same every time. There was like every woman that I know that was like, oh, I like you. I like everything about you. You made me forget about my ex and shit. Let's have sex. I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet. Something's wrong. There ain't nothing wrong with me. But now I understand the facade. You don't want me to find out what's wrong with you yet. You want to put the pussy on me so you can make it so it can make you feel like, oh, I got him. That's not what's gonna get me. Even with practicing celibacy, I started to see this shit. You feel me? But again, it came into understanding that relationship that I was with, I kept running into these women over and over again. What decision was I constantly making? What space was I in where I had to keep making this particular decision? You feel what I'm saying? Because there were several women who I didn't have to do wrong. There's several women who aligned with that it was like, bet. We get caught up sometimes where we say shit like, I'm gonna make these women feel the way the woman, like, you can't. Like that's some sinister shit, bro. To try to make try to make random people feel the way a motherfucker made you feel. And you don't have the confidence or the courage to go make that motherfucker feel like that. I tried, believe me. When she broke my heart and shit, I tried to fuck her friend. I tried to fuck a couple of her friends. I tried to fuck a couple of her friends, but I couldn't. They was loyal. Shit. But the sad part is she wasn't loyal to them. That's crazy. And I knew this, and I still made a decision to fuck with this type of person. She fucked some of her friends' boyfriends. That shit was crazy to me. I was like, you did? But, that's your girl. So it's like, you got to side with her. I started to separate from that shit. Like, the humanity in them. Like, you fucked some of your homegirls' boyfriends? Like, damn. That's wild. Like, that's wild. Like, and I get it. Motherfucker, yo, Ray, didn't you do it? Yes, when I was like 13, 14 years old, me and my homies used to share girls until it became a problem. It became a problem when I fucked one of the girls that he loved. That's when it was no longer fun no more. It was one thing when they're just, oh, that bitch, we just talking to her. This, that, and the third. I got a number 2 weeks ago. You can have her, blah, blah, blah. But then when love was involved, it was different. But he couldn't go against it because he's like, yo, we had already set this precedent. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's when I started to realize, nah, it's deeper than that. You just can't share people, bro. You feel me? I said, that situation ain't cool. It ain't the same, bro. Like, you can't compare what me and him did to what y'all did. But again, I still made a decision to continue to fuck with this person despite what they were revealing to me. Tying it back to the homeboy, flipping, flopping back and forth between, like, I still made a decision to befriend this person. You feel what I'm saying? Going forward in life, I had to look at life like, people are wrong. People do me dirty. My decision to fuck with fucked up people, there's something in me I got to fix. When I constantly had a decision, when I was making decisions to fuck with people that went against me, I had to fix something in me. Tying it back to self-sabotage. Self-sabotage ain't always intentional. You don't intentionally go into this motherfucker saying, bitch, I'm gonna hurt myself. You do not go into the motherfucker saying, I'm gonna hurt my motherfucking self. You just don't. But You're already wired to make decisions that hurt you. And it's almost like a which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? I personally believe the chicken came first because you got two chickens had to come first, actually, because you had to fertilize the motherfucker for the egg to come out. The fuck, in order for another chicken to be born. Whoever asked that stupid ass question is stupid as fuck. Anyway, but sometimes you have to wonder what came first. Your programming to your decision making skills or the self sabotage. Are you already programmed to decide to sabotage yourself? You feel what I'm saying? These are gems that I want you to understand as far as men, as far as us go as men. It's like these hoes ain't all the same. Our decision to fuck with the same hoes is the same. That's the problem. That's the problem. Our first heartbreak, our first embarrassment, all of that shit, we ain't supposed to like, but yet we keep wanting to chase a certain type of woman. If you know your type is bad for you and you keep chasing it, you decide to sabotage yourself. I just want to get it right. You're deciding on shit that ain't good for you. Or you're deciding on shit that you're not supposed to be with. The reason why I'm saying that is shit, I phrase it because I don't want to make myself look like a bad guy and shit, because I did deal with a woman who had to let down easy and saying, yo, we're not in the same bracket. And she's like, yo, why can't I just get it right? So I'm like, yo, you didn't even prepare for the type of man that I am. You got it. It sounds here like, but you're not even built for that. And I'm not trying to toot my horn or be on some, some grandiose type shit. It is what it is. But at the same time, I was in a different entrepreneur space than she was. You feel me? I'm like, yo, this is what I'm going to do. She's like, but this is what I want. And a lot of time that shit sound good. So when I'm telling her what she got to do and I seen her crumble and shit, you're not built for the type of man that I am. You can't get mad at me and say, why can't you get it right when you're not prepared for getting it right? You feel what I'm saying? Go back to the ponds, bro. We in the oceans over here. And it's salt water. Like you it's different. Go back to that freshwater shit. We don't fuck with that. We over here with the lions and ain't no lions, sea lions. Okay, we up here with the sea lions and the motherfucking orcas and shit. We in a real space right now doing real shit. You see what I'm saying? And so I had to learn that. Why did I? Now again, this particular person showed me another side of myself, because I'm like, why do I keep running into women at the same time who ain't built for shit? Why do I keep deciding on women who ain't built for shit? What am I fucking with? What is my decision making skills like where I keep choosing these women? Where these women have a space to get into and say, okay, I could decide on you. Like, nah, if you can't see the problem, you can't decide against it. If you think it's everybody else and it's not you, you're not going to be able to make the necessary change. When I looked at the women that I kept running into consistently, nigga, it's something in me. I'm deciding on these women. Why? Was it because I knew that I didn't have to do as much work? Was it because I knew it'd be easy if they had to walk away? You feel what I'm saying? Because I knew that I probably wasn't going to get attached to them anyway. Because I know you don't have the ambition that I have. I'm really not going to fall for you. You feel me? What was my decision in fucking with these women? You feel what I'm saying? Was it a deeper trigger from when I was younger? Who knows? But at the end of the day, I had to sit back and look at it and said, all y'all keep happening. The same motherfucker keep coming up into this picture. Why am I making a decision every time? You feel what I'm saying? I used to look at the comparison that I had made when I was in undergrad. I made a choice. The woman that broke my heart versus another woman. I was fucking both of them. But one of them, I felt like, it's crazy because one of them had a boyfriend and I was fucking her. So it always went back into my mind. You feel me? Well, I ain't gonna say she had a boyfriend and I was fucking, because I didn't know she had a boyfriend at the time. I just thought she was single. And we had, we fucked and shit. And it was just like, it's wild because this is all freshman year. So another dude that was in a clique that I was affiliated with, he was like, yo, he ate her pussy and shit. I was like, nigga, I ain't do that shit. I just fucked her, nigga. You different. Like, you feel me? I wasn't eating pussy at the time. So like, nigga, you different. But mind you, this is all in the same year. So initially I'm like, I was mulling over this. What if I would have just chose her instead of her? Would I still be in this situation? Yes, nigga, because you were still attracted to that same type of, they were the same person. Like, you feel me? It won't no different, nigga. Because you had aligned yourself for the decisions. You had aligned yourself to make decisions towards these type of women. Then I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I didn't realize that that's what it was. Because initially, you know what I'm saying, the trust issues made me put it off. You know what I'm saying? The trust issues made me put off the understanding of my decision-making skills. You feel me? And that's what I want to get to. Like, the conceptualization of us having trust issues is what prevents us from actually developing and understanding our decision-making skills. It's never the fact that we can't trust something or somebody else. We can't trust ourselves. And deeper than that, it's like, why can't I trust myself to do right? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? I'm not going to get into the external forces. I'm not going to get into the manipulations and all the other shit that you have. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. It all ties down to your decision-making skills. You feel me? And the ability to decide transcends options and choices. Like, see, that's the thing about it. We get so many options in this world. You feel me? We get so many choices in this world, but we rarely make decisions because all of those things have to be predicated upon us. Because in order to truly consistently make a decision, you have to, in order to build your decision-making skills, you have to continually make decisions and then evaluate the decisions that you made. We make decisions and then we blame the motherfucker outside of us that fucked up the decision. We don't start with the initiating factor. I made this decision. If I would have decided against this, I never would have went through it. But the fact that I decided for it, I went through it, but now it's not my fault. And you're right. It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. The moment you make a decision on something, it doesn't matter whose fault it is, but it's going to be your responsibility if you made a decision to be a part of it, or you made a decision to have it a part of your life. You see what I'm saying? When the homeboy betrayed me and shit, I made a decision to have him a part of my life. I mean, that means I made the decision to have all the shiesty shit he did in the past, all that other shit nullified as if it's not in him anymore, and decided to befriend him. And so when the shit jumped off and it was like, damn, bro, like, okay. I can't trust these type of niggas because these niggas, no, I make decisions to be around these type of shiesty niggas. Despite seeing how wrong they are, despite seeing the fact that I don't really fuck with you like that. I didn't fuck with you like that then, and then fast forward to running into him recently saying, I don't fuck with you. Ain't shit changed. I never fuck with you. I never fuck with you like that. But I made a decision to fuck with you because I was going to look past all that other shit. You see what I'm saying? Our decision-making skills are often wired to the fact that we decide to look past certain shit, or we decide to observe. Because we, sometimes, like I say, we have a difficulty separating fantasy from reality. I don't know why. I don't know where it came in, but we have a very, very difficult problem with separating fantasy from reality. So we make decisions according to fantasy, not reality. Maybe it's because we've been doing this since we were children. I don't know. But we often have decisions that are made according to fantasy. Don't believe me? How many times have you got a bad bitch and you said, I'll look past all of the stupid shit because she had a fat ass? Because she bad, because she got this going on. Like, physically, she got it going on. Mentally, she ain't fucking there. Spiritually, she ain't fucking there. But you making a decision that encompasses, that requires you to be in tune mentally, physically, and spiritually based off of the physical alone. Yeah, you can easily project and say, I don't trust these bitches, as opposed to, I don't trust my decision-making skills to look beyond the physical. Shit changes when you start to look at life like that. This is not to say place blame on yourself and victimize yourself and say, I'm fucked up, I choose wrong. No, come to terms with the reality. I made this decision because. Be objective with yourself and be transparent with yourself. I made this decision because of what? Because of what? I ain't gonna hold you. The woman that broke my heart, I made the decision on that because I felt, respectfully, I felt because she was broken, she won't hurt me. It ain't funny. It ain't funny. But that's the first time I've uttered these words out loud. I've thought about it before, but I've uttered these words out loud for the first time. I decided to get with her because she was broken and I didn't think she was hurt me. It would hurt me. I even ended up writing a song about it. In the album that I dropped, I did I was like, Cheaters never win, winners never cheat. I was studying for you while you was cheating on me. The excuse was that I wasn't show you attention anymore, but you forgot to mention how I brought you from nothing to some shit. What it was like, hold on, I'm trying to think of the line that I said because it was along the lines of, uh, when they talk, that's what I said. When they speak about the pain that they had that they don't ever want to feel again. And it was like when you talking to people who's like, yeah, I've been hurt before. I've been this, that, and the third. I've been hurt before, and this and the third. I'm like, okay, she's been hurt. She won't hurt me. No, nigga, her being hurt and her hurting you are two totally different realities. You feel what I'm saying? And so I made the decision to get into that situation thinking that because I'm basing it on my perspective. I'm not out, me as a human. It doesn't matter if it's physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, however Lee you want to look at it. I'm not going to inflict pain on I'm not going to inflict the pain on somebody that I've experienced because I know what it feels like. Everybody don't think like that. So because this person was like, yo, I've been hurt, I've been cheated on, this, that, and the third, I'm getting with this person now and realizing that they don't mind hurting people. You feel me? So I can have the trust issues and saying, yeah, yo, you can love a bitch all you want to love her, and she gonna still treat you wrong. Fuck these bitches, they ain't shit. Or you can be an adult and say, I decided on a woman who was hurt. This is me speaking as myself. I'm not saying all y'all go through this. I decided on a woman who was hurt and thought that she wouldn't hurt me because I don't hurt people with the pain that I felt. Despite not listening to the fact that she hurt motherfuckers when she wants to be away from them. You feel what I'm saying? So again, when you are in a space of self-sabotage, it doesn't have to be intentional. You make a decision to go against yourself. And what I mean by going against yourself is when she had conversation where she told me, yeah, I cheated on a boyfriend because I wanted it to be over and he didn't want to end it. So I cheated on him so he'll break up with me. You feel what I'm saying? Like her decision-making skills will conflict with mine. So for me to be oblivious to the fact that, oh, well, she's been hurt, so she won't hurt me. Oh, nigga, she hurts people, even through her pain. The fuck? You see what I'm saying? But the accountability is in the decision-making. And is the development of the trust issue is supposed to reveal your decision making. Are you really angry at the person? Yeah, of course you are. But are you really more wired to, you're angry at the person, but you're wired to the decision you made to get involved with that person because you didn't have to. This is why it's almost a 90% reality when people look back and say, I knew I shouldn't have been fucking with this person. So why did you decide to do it? That's the real question. Why did you decide to do it? Like trust issues, I don't have a problem with them. Because I know when I can't trust something, I have to figure out why I'm not trusting myself. What is it that I'm tied to that I'm not trusting myself? Like I said, one of the biggest realities that helped me get through this was when I started trading and investing. Because I started looking at it. Yo, you can't, every previous trade ain't the same. Every trade, no two trades are alike. I don't give a fuck how much they look alike. You can have a correlation of a +7 -7 of a Euro Aussie. And then you can have a correlation of a +7 -7 Aussie yen. And you think the pocket is going to set up the same way. That just happens to be where the correlation is at this particular time. This could be a selling pocket. This could be a buying pocket. This could be a pullback. This could be any scenario. So the same situation ain't going to happen twice. But why did you make the same decision off of two different scenarios? Because it looked the same. Oh, the correlation said it's the same. Okay, it looked the same. All right, cool. Now let's apply that to life. Because when I'm doing my trading and investing and shit, I follow simple rules. Like I'm only going to trade certain correlation numbers. You feel me? I'm only going to trade certain correlation numbers. And I'm going to trade those correlation numbers because I typically know what they're going to give me. This is one of the reasons why within the EWE, I know I ain't been in there a long time. We coming back though. I'm getting shit shaking. So within the EWE, I would always say, know where you are before you enter. Yes, the correlation numbers say buy. Yes, they say good, but can you buy right here? Is it wise to buy right here? Are you at the start? Are you at the wall? Are you in the pullback? Are you in push 1, push 2, push 3? Are you in the upper hand? Are you in the final push? Where are you? The correlation has to align with where you are because it all has to be relative in your decision. Now, If I continue to do the same shit over and over again, say these are the correlation numbers, I'm going to hit here. I'm going to hit here because it says here, because this says buy. But does it tell you where to? You feel me? Fast forwarding, not fast forwarding, but switching that and pivoting it to life. Right? When we look at our trust issues, when we look at the things that we don't trust, how much of it is tied to the decision that we made to repeat the same shit? That's why the phrase says, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Because when it's when it's in regards to the things that you can't trust, now when you keep going back, I don't trust this, I don't trust this, you turn into a hermit and a recluse thinking that the world is just attacking you. No, you're making decisions that put you in a space to be attacked by the world. I'm not trying to victimize people. Please don't take this as a victimization. Please understand what I'm saying. Because the longer you sit and say it's not your fault, and it may not be your fault, but change that wording and say, is it my responsibility? Yes. Any decision that you make is your responsibility at that point. The moment you make a decision, you are now responsible. It doesn't matter who's at fault. It's who's responsible now. If you get rear-ended by a motherfucker who has no insurance, it doesn't matter who's at fault. Who is responsible for your car? Yes, it's their fault your car is fucked up. Yes, it's their fault. You can find other means to try to collect and get the money from them. But if they don't have insurance, you're responsible for your car on your own. You can have your insurance people keep trying to reach out to them, do whatever they do. You can do all of that, but you're responsible for your car. Ain't no difference in life. The moment you make a decision, you're now responsible for it, whether you're at fault or not. I wasn't at fault for motherfucking being heartbroken, but I was responsible for it. I wasn't at fault for being betrayed by my homeboy, but I was responsible for it. And it's an understanding of responsibility that helped me make my decisions. But without first observing the responsibility and placing blame and faulting everybody else and not being responsible for my decision in the shit, it made it harder for me to actually understand it. And legit, that happens to a lot of us. That happens to a lot of us because we look at the situation from the perspective of, it's not my fault though. You're right. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. And that doesn't have to be your fault for it to be the responsibility of your decisions. You feel me? True, I didn't know Shorty was married when we started fucking with each other. This particular Shorty. I ain't the one that I'm saying in this episode. I didn't know she was married at first. But then when I found out, I still had a responsibility to say, it wasn't my fault. That it's like, okay, I still now, are you going to be responsible enough to make the necessary decision? She's married, bro. Regardless of whether she's getting an annulment or whatever the case may be. And this is one of those situations that really fucked me up because it's like, she really got the annulment. Signed the papers and everything else. So I was like, oh, she really is. You rarely hear that shit. When motherfuckers like, yo, I'm going to leave my husband and this, that, and the third. I said, get the fuck out of here. So that's my thing. When I'm hearing about it, I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. You ain't leaving that. Y'all married, bro. Y'all are married. No, as I'm really getting annulment. She showed me the paper. She signed them and she said, about time this motherfucker signed the shit. Like, I seen the pictures. It went through process and everything. She was officially divorced. Well, annulled or whatever. I don't know how that process goes, but it's officially done. But it doesn't change the fact that I decided to deal with the woman who was already in that space. Why? Why? That's the responsibility part. I can have trust issues and get on these women always coming to me with baggage. They always coming at it. Why? Fuck whether or not they're coming on to you with baggage. Why do you keep deciding on it? Why do you keep deciding on women who coming into spaces with fucked up relationships? You see what I'm saying? I used to have heavy trust issues, and now I just look at my decision making skills, and my trust issues have significantly diminished the moment I started taking responsibility for my decisions. Nope, I don't blame nobody else. I don't give a fuck whose fault it really is, but I take every bit of responsibility for the things that I decided on. You feel what I'm saying? For the things that I decided on. If I decided on the shit, I'm going to be responsible enough to deal with whatever comes with it. That's where the fae comes from in Palakafe. Freedom. Freedom is the ability to deal with your consequences. I mean, to live the life that you want to live and make the decisions you need to make while still being able to live your consequences. But that comes from the experience of making better decisions based off knowing your trust issues are there for a reason. Use them. Why don't I trust this person? No, 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 no. I'm not saying always blame yourself. I'm saying take responsibility, which makes you help. Taking responsibility of the decisions you make helps you become accountable enough to make better decisions. Yeah, trust issues are cool. I'm not gonna look at them and project everybody else like, yo, why do I keep having a problem with the same motherfucker, homie? The same nigga Luigi? Why? What decision am I making that's putting me in this position? You see what I'm saying? Look at a bigger aspect of life. Sometimes people look at that, why is this cycle repeating? What decision are you making to keep the cycle going, nigga? The fuck? Sometimes it's that subtle, but it's that grand at the same time because it's like this cycle keeps repeating. You keep running into these type of women. You keep going through this loop because of what decision? It's like a master link on a bicycle. All these links in the chain, but only one counts. Only one counts. And when you break that chain, when you break the master link, that's it. The chain's broken. You can't put it back together. You got to get a whole new chain. You feel me? Now, if the master link is still intact, you can take links out and shorten the chain, lengthen the chain, do whatever you want to. But if that master link is broken, you can't do nothing with it. That master link is our decision-making skills. That's the one thing that keeps our cycles going. Whether we're willing to admit it or not, the master link of our lives is our decision-making skills. Every cycle that we're generating, every cycle that we're creating, everything that's giving us a problem in our lives right now is because of the decisions that we choose to make or choose not to. Now, if every cycle that you keep getting caught up in is fucking up and it's bad, is because you're deciding to go against yourself. That's really what it is. And this when life gets to you get to a point where your decision making skill should lead you to benefit or detriment. If everything is detrimental to you, if every decision you make is detrimental, it's because you don't think you deserve anything good in your life. So you're going to intentionally, and it's going to be unconsciously too, but it's still intentional. You're going to intentionally and unconsciously make decisions that are detrimental for you, even if they feel good in the beginning. Because your decision-making skills are wired a certain way. Because you're used to a certain reality. In the tree of life, in So Frail 3, I'm going to say this and I'm going to start trying to wrap it up. In So Frail 3, when I go over the tree of life, specifically the area where you master victory and victim, where you master the victor and the victim. Like there's a point in life where you can master the winner and a loser. And you realize that nobody's born a winner, nobody's born a loser. People decide to be those. And I get it. A lot of people say, I didn't wake up this morning and say, I'm going to be a loser today. Did you? You sure? You sure? You sure? Look at because the current position of your life is the results of your decisions. That's it. I get it. A lot of people say, I didn't put myself, and I get it. We have things that happen in life, traumas and all of this other shit, death and shit that we have no control over. But at the same time, the position you are in your life is the accumulation of your decisions. If you are losing in life, look at where you at. Reevaluate your decisions. You can call it blessings, you can call it curses, you can call it whatever the fuck you want. You can call it a deity testing, you can call it whatever. The current position of your life is the results of your decisions. When breaking down the tree of life and you get to that point and you get to the understanding how to understand the master victory and victim and the victor and the victim, the winner and the loser, you're like, oh, losing and winning isn't something it's their results. Winning and losing, wins and losses are results of decisions. They're not rewards. They're not punishments. They're not blessings. They're not curses. They're not gifts. They're results, my nigga. Nobody wants to talk about that part because the results had to reveal what decisions you made that led to that result. So it's easy to have trust issues and say, I'm not going to deal with this reality, or I'm not going to deal with this reality because it's not good for me. It's not good for me because this is a problem, whatever. As opposed to saying, I don't make the decisions required to produce positive results in that. I don't make the decisions positive. I don't make decisions positive enough to make winning results in this situation. I don't make the decisions for that. I know in this realm, I'm going to make the decisions that's going to. So now when you get to a point where it's like, I have to only make the decisions that I know that I can win with. Stay in that space. Sad as it is, some people only know how to win the only winning some people have, the only winning some people can decide is the winning to lose. For some people, losing is winning to them. Because of whatever situation is, I'm not trying to shit on you and call you a loser, but it is what it is. When you constantly make decisions that go against yourself, you're a loser. Because you're not doing anything for your benefit. You're clearly doing something for your detriment, and you're tied to it. And rather than admitting it, rather than coming to the terms of being responsible for it, you fault everything else. My life is in shambles. My life is going like this, as opposed to I'm making the decisions that is generating the world that I'm actively active in. You dig what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm saying? If you are constantly and continually in a space where things aren't going your way, which way are you going? Things just aren't looking up for me. Things just aren't this. What decisions are you making in life? One of the hardest realities that we have to face as men is that, respect isn't given, respect is earned and shit like that and all this other shit. But we don't understand and we don't appreciate the value of our decisions until we're later on in life. You know why? Because they don't teach us to mature early. I was having a conversation with somebody and they were trying to convince me that women mature faster than men. No, I said women are matured faster than men. That's all. Biologically, we could talk about the frontal lobes and all this other shit developing and shit. Fuck that. That ain't got shit to do with shit. Emotionally and spiritually, we develop the exact same way. Women are just matured faster than men because men don't have to mature. You dig what I'm saying? Women have to mature faster because, according to the system that's in place, you got to be younger to deal with an older person. Y'all are programmed for that. Get you an older man who's more stable, who's more financed, who's more this, that, and the third structure and shit. Like, women are programmed for that bullshit. So they're matured faster so that they can close the gap mentally and spiritually because physically it's already gone. You see what I'm saying? But for us, we're not matured that fast. Do you know why? Because if we're matured fast enough, now we can be with women that are on par with us and we can have shit that's more fruitful. The imbalance is designed this way. You feel what I'm saying? And as a motherfucker who's far more mature than a plethora of the women that I've ever involved myself with, I can say that women are not mature, do not mature more faster than men. Women are matured faster. That's all. It sounds good to say. It sounds good to put on paper and give, like, no. We have to look at our decisions to remain to be boys will be boys. No, you have to be a young lady. While they're being told to be young ladies and young women and shit, we're told boys will be boys. The fuck? Y'all remember when that 30-year-old swimmer during the Olympics did some shit over and they said, oh, he's, they called him a boy. White dude. They called him a boy and shit. It's like, yeah, he's boys will be boys. Nigga, that's not no boy shit. That's a grown ass fucking man doing that shit. But again, boys aren't matured. They allow life to mature us, but they mature women to prepare them to be whatever they're gonna be. And that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. So now when it comes to us as men and shit, we be thinking like by the time we get privy to a lot of the shit that we're supposed to get privy to, it's like you in your 30s and your 40s. You didn't have to wait till 30 and 40 to learn this shit. You didn't. But a lot of times, because like tying it to the prevention episode, oh, you got time. No, you don't, my nigga. No, you don't. No, you don't. Men, black men especially, you do not have the luxury of waiting to learn to tap into your decision-making skills. Shit will fuck you up for the rest of your life. You feel what I'm saying? People be like, if you don't learn anything, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna really wrap it up. If you don't learn anything from the motherfuckers who the Bill Cosbys and the people who have made decisions in their past that's fucking up their legacies now. If you don't learn anything from that, understand the point of decisions. Yes, the motherfucker can say it's not my fault that she wanted to pop. She wanted to do the Quaaludes or whatever the case may be, and I had them. It's not my fault, but it's your responsibility that you gave them to her. And now that responsibility that you had, that you decided against yourself, now look at what it's fucking. Now look at what he did to you in your 80 year at 80 years, like however many years later, in your 80s. Now they want to fuck with you. This is what people mean when they say your decisions will haunt you for the rest of your life. Your decisions will affect you for the rest of your life. I had to learn this shit early. It was no boys will be boys for me. I had to look at the decision that I currently made that almost cost me my life forever. It was like, but it wasn't my fault. But it was your responsibility because you made that decision. That was a decision that you made, homie. That shit it transcends time. It transcends time. Your decision making skills will transcend time. This is why I always say what people believe are deities and gods and devils and shit active in their life is the results of their decisions. When you constantly live in a space where when you think you're a born sinner and you constantly live in a space, you're going to think you're supposed to make bad decisions because something needs to save you. The only thing that needs to save you is your ability to make sound, beneficial decisions. Sound, beneficial decisions. And as men, we're not taught that. We're not taught that. We're taught that we can do whatever the fuck we want to do until we can't do whatever the fuck we want to do. Your decisions are going to be the very foundational piece that will shape the rest of your life, that are going to shape the lives. This is what they mean by the sins of the father. It's easy to call it a sin because then you make it seem like it's biblical. But when you erase the word sin and you say the decisions of the father, it makes it seem so much more tangible. This ain't no curse. This ain't no shit from the generations that passed. These are the consistent decisions that keep coming up and being reused. You're making the same decision of a motherfucker who failed before you. What do you think the outcome is going to happen? I'm going to fail. I'm going to succeed where they failed. And I don't mean in the sense that doing what somebody else failed at can't be done. However, making the decision to do exactly what they did that failed, it can't be done in a positive way. This is why I was saying in the tree of life, you have the point where you learn how to be a winner and a loser. Winning and losing are results of decisions. That's it. And they are overcome. And the purpose of wins and losses is to examine what you can trust and what you can't trust. And it's not just what you can and can't trust out in the world, it's what you can and can't trust within yourself, and learning how to make a decision to align with what makes you win and misalign with what makes you lose. You feel what I'm saying? Being a winner and being a loser is not an accident. It's results. Being a champion is results. Being successful is results. You feel what I'm saying? If your first run-in with success, you have a bad route and you can't trust it. You feel what I'm saying? You develop trust issues in it. Now he's tying it into the 4 phases of the mind: belief, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Understanding is when you're able to consistently produce the result and you can accept and reject what needs to be done. Because I know what result needs to happen. So I'm going to reject anything that doesn't produce this result. But then when you stay in the mentality, the state of belief, now you have to trust everything, and your trust issues come in because you keep going through the process and not gaining the knowledge that you need to apply to get the experience that can give you better decisions. And don't forget to check out Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Cafe Clothing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. That's trust issues. Now I know. It's like saying, why'd you have to give us that whole motherfucking story if you were just going to talk about that at the end? Well, I don't know. Because that's what that led to. Damn it. It's just how this shit flow. I told y'all, I'm in a different pocket now. That's why I know seasons 11, 12, 13 on, these are going to be very different seasons because of just the transition that I'm in internally. I feel it. I'm different. I'm different. And I know now that this is a this is a this is a different game. This is a different game. But that's decisions. That's trust issues, bro. Like trust issues are the quintessential piece to help us make decisions. You have to resolve the issue with trust. That's it. People be like, I got trust issues and don't go resolve the issue with the trust. We just get into an avoidant space. Fear or faith. That's why I was talking about trust tied to belief. Now, fear and faith fear is avoiding what you don't understand. Faith is going towards it. Now, when you have trust issues, what happens? You avoid shit. You become avoidant because you don't understand the shit. Because it's not even that you can't understand the thing, which it doesn't matter whether you can or you can't. You don't understand or you can't comprehend whether or not you can trust yourself in that situation anymore. Like this, I'll be like, yo, women can't tempt me no more because I understand the decisions I got to make in those situations. You feel me? You ain't about to me too me. You ain't about to get me on no slick shit. Like I can't put myself in no compromising permission because it's compromising position. Why? Because I know, but in that I know what decisions I need to make going forward. You feel me? The last couple of in situations that I've involved myself with, I tell women all the time, and one of them she tried to flex. It was funny as hell. She was like, I got all these options out here now. I said, that's cool. I shut her the fuck up. So I had all these options out here and you just out here acting like you could just, I said, you may have had options and I had options too, but you were my decision. Shut her the fuck up. I said, you were a decision I was making. You weren't an option to me. You weren't a choice. You was a decision that I was making. You feel me? Now I got to understand why I was continually making that decision. You feel me? But at the end of the day, you were a decision that I was making. The shit we go through in life, my brothers, that make us develop these trust issues are things that we have to resolve and figure out our responsibility in them. We have to figure out the very essence of the things that put us in those positions. You dig what I'm saying? That make us go into those spaces where we're like, all right, bet. This is why I did what I did. You feel me? This is why I decided to do it. This is why I decided to do that. This is why I decided against that. But even deeper, you have to peel back the layers and look at the things in which look at the moments in which you decided against yourself. And look at the moments in which you decided for yourself. And then at the end of the day, look at the reality of I have to make a decision to produce the right result. Winning is not an accident. It's a result. I know they give us the entertainment side of winning, the entertainment side of losing. You see what I'm saying? Because we have the entertaining side of winning and losing is competition. You can be a winner and still lose in competition. Winners lose all the time. Motherfuckers go to the NBA, they make it and shit like that. Yeah, you have a losing game. Cool. Because now you're competing against your ability to win, the results of your wins. You know what I'm saying? The results of your decisions and your team's decisions and all of that shit. People don't look at the bigger picture of all of that. So we watch the entertainment side and think winning is the final piece. No, winning is a result. Winning is a result. When we look at the basketball games, when we look at the football games, the final score is the tally of the results between individual players that came together on the team. That's it. It's the decisions that they made. You feel me? This person may not have shown up to practice. Something. They might have showed up to practice in this. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's little things that are in the backside that we don't see as entertainment plays out. Nobody understands the result side of the shit. You have to constantly go through with the results. You have to make decisions to do the necessary things to produce the right result. You see what I'm saying? You can't get mad. I'm really about to wrap it up. But like this shadow ban shit with social media and shit, I knew what result I was producing. I know I'm at the point now where I can know what content is going to produce a certain result. And when that result gets produced, I pull it. You feel me? I just posted a gym session where I was saying, Now it's a full gym session, so I was able to put another clip in that shit. But the clip that I used was the woke mob isn't us. We were consciously aware and shit. They don't even know what a woman is, so we do not compare to them or they. They infiltrated saying men have menstruation. We were teaching better eating shorts the times of menstruation, right? I knew they was gonna flag that shit. I knew it. And I made a decision to do it anyway, just in case they didn't. But then when they flagged the shit, I think they my reach dropped by like 16,000 or some shit like that. But I knew what post it was. So I said, all right, let me delete that because I know how y'all rock. But then I went back and I was still able to post one from the same gym session because I now know how to use it. I used the one that said, my dog's wild, but all smiles. You see the teeth and see the beast tethered to the earth, but you don't see the leash because we don't need controllers controlling motion with a remote controller. I know it's remote, but I'm switching codes for the code of culture. I know that one's going to be it's going to be approved because I'm not, talking about them. You feel what I'm saying? I know how the AI model works. I know how the AI model works and it runs, and I know how to play with the shit now. But the point that I'm making with that is that when you get to a point of decisions and you get to a point of results and you understand the metrics of the results that you do, winning is easy. Winning and losing are just as easy as each other. You ever seen somebody get to a point where they said, you couldn't stop me if you tried? The decisions that I've done up until this point the momentum that's there, it can't be stopped. Our goal as men, our purpose as men, our ethic as men is to be able to work ourselves into a space where we develop the results that win. Winning is hard because you have to consistently make decisions, the right decisions that lead to the wins, which means you have to learn the right things. You have to teach the right things. You have to grow the right way. You have to involve yourself with the right women. They don't want us to involve ourselves with the right women because if we involve ourselves with the right women, choosing the right woman is choosing a woman as a whole, but deciding on the right woman is a foundational piece to success. Now I get it. Well, Scene, you still single. That don't mean shit because I still know how to decide on the right woman. A lot of motherfuckers be thinking that you single if you can't find nobody. What I know that I have to decide on hasn't entered my space yet. There's a difference in that. You feel what I'm saying? When you get to, you have to get to that self-mastery first to where every time I decide on something is going to be beneficial for my life. You have to get to a point where your decision, you have to get to a point where you decide to do beneficial things that lead to winning results every time you do something. So many motherfuckers, and that's what intention is. Motherfuckers be thinking you just out here winging and doing shit, living life is luck. Nah, this shit ain't luck. None of this shit is luck. None of what the fuck I do is luck. Not a single fucking thing that I do is luck. It is result. It is result. It is the result of the fact that I consistently and continually make but I can continually and consistently make decisions that are beneficial, that give me beneficial results. Do I have moments where shit's detrimental? Yeah. Once I see what's detrimental, I tweak that motherfucker, figure out how to make it beneficial, and now I produce that result again. You can't just bitch and moan and roll over. That's what makes you a loser. Winners can't be stopped. And people think winning is about the competition of it all. Winning is that relentless dedication to consistently make the decision to produce a winning result or the beneficial result. And they call you a narcissist for it. They call you a narcissist because they'd rather have you be a loser. Continually decide to make decisions that are detrimental for you. You know what you have to do internally, because humble means to make yourself insignificant. You know what you have to continually decide to do to reduce yourself to a level of insignificance? This is why when people tell me to be humble, I tell them to be exalted. You can't, because I don't make the decisions I don't make the decisions that push me to a point to be insignificant to no human being. You see what I'm saying? I got to study that tree of life, bro. I promise you. That should help you get, the tree of life is designed to get you from the fool to the world path and understanding everything about yourself on the inside. I broke down how to do the shit. The wins and losses is not something that I'm just playing around with, but it all rooted within my trust issues. That area of learning and mastery of the self started with understanding trust issues. Why do I have trust issues? Because I didn't trust my decision making skills. When I started to pay more attention and become intentional with my decision making skills, I learned that they produce results. Nothing was a happenstance. If I got an A on the test, it's because I studied. If I failed a test, it's because I didn't study. Input and output. It won't no mystery. It won't no confusion. I know exactly what I did and what I didn't do. You feel what I'm saying? I knew exactly what I did and I knew what I didn't do. And because I knew what I did and I knew what I didn't do, I could replicate the process and produce the result again. Now, the more comfortable you get with the results, the faster they come. And now it looks like, oh, you always winning, you always doing right. No, nigga, these are the results. When you see my ads now on Instagram and shit, you don't know how many decisions I had to make and how many results I have to attain over the years that you've never seen. You feel what I'm saying? So it's levels to the shit. It's levels to the shit. You have to continually decide to use your trust issues to resolve them and uncover what would be responsible for the decision that you made that led to your trust issues. Because it's not always the person, it's your decisions. It's why you decided to go against yourself and deal with that situation. The moment you start making better decisions, you start to feel internally that you're going against yourself. You just get used to it. If you don't make this decision, you're just going to feel in alignment with going against yourself. It's just the way life is for me. It's just the way life goes. No, it's not. That's not the way it goes. That's the way you're deciding for it to be. And I'm going to go ahead and end it there because that's just a motherfucking mic drop. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And our sons, our girls are not more mature than our sons. They're matured faster because they have to be more responsible for their decisions than we do. We encourage our girls, don't bring no baby home, but we tell our boys to just wear condoms. Stupid. Off rip, we're already setting them at a mismatch of how they need to be matured into their disciplines, into their decision-making skills. If a girl gets pregnant, it's the girl's fault. Think about that. We don't put it on the boy. We don't put it on his immaturity. We don't put it on his, we don't let him acknowledge the decisions that he just made. Until, oh, nigga, now she got you for 18 years. That 18 years is what teach him his decisions. That 18 years, but we don't teach them the results of decisions early to where they can practice it on a smaller scale, because boys will be boys. We can't do everything for our babies, bro. The purpose of this life is to get them, to teach them, train them up in the way they should go. Follow how they need to be making decisions that produce fruitful results for their life. Show them what a result is. Stop giving, see, that's what we got to stop doing. Giving rewards and shit, honorable mentions and all this other goofy shit that they started giving out now. Oh, everybody's a winner. No, everybody's not a winner because everybody does not decide to produce beneficial results. Everybody does not decide to produce beneficial results. Do you feel what I'm saying? We need to stop babying our boys and stop treating them like that, because that's coddling them. Because when they come into this motherfucking real world and they have to start making their decisions on their own, they don't know how. They don't know how to make a beneficial decision without asking for permission or needing guidance. No. Understand what a decision is and learn how to start producing results. Teach them early. It's not hard. It's not hard. Stop giving them rewards. Hey, you did this, so I'm going to give you this. No, you produced this result, so this is what you get. That's how you teach the value of decisions and quality decisions and things like that. This decision produced this type of result. This decision produced that type of result. You got a winning result. You got a losing result. Now, as the quality improves, the more you get. You have motherfuckers. This is why motherfuckers is entitled. You feel me? They getting C's in school and you getting the PS5s as a reward for quote unquote good grades. At least you tried. They didn't decide to win. They didn't decide to win, and you didn't teach them how to decide to win. Because they don't see you deciding to win. They see you deciding to lose, and you think you're doing the best that you can. You might be. Because that's how life has led up to that point. But those are the decisions. Those are the results of the decisions. Your current life is the results of all of the decisions that you have done up until this point. Knowing this tidbit of information, give your babies the head start they need by showing them the significance of making sound decisions and what results they produce. Not consequences and rewards, results. Because a lot of motherfuckers producing beneficial results and getting whooped for it. You feel what I'm saying? And getting punished for it. No, understand why you produced this beneficial result. Even though it did violate my permission, what I told you not to do, it aligned with your ability. You feel what I'm saying? We got to make sure our boys are on point. That's how they stay on point. But I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.